July 25, 2025. As night fell, thick gray clouds rolled in like a heavy blanket pressing down on northern China. In Wuqi County, Shaanxi Province, the scent of damp earth rose from the Beiluo River, a bad omen the villagers had learned to recognize over generations. But this time, things were not like before. The rain began like distant applause, then quickly turned into a relentless pounding on tin roofs, windows, and the ground. Within an hour, small ditches had swelled into rushing streams. In 3 hours, the streams had overflowed into the river, and in 6 hours, the Beiluo River went mad. Mr. Chen, a 64-year-old farmer living on the outskirts of town, still remembers that moment. He recalled, "It was around midnight. I was asleep when I heard the sound of water. Not the rain, but rushing water, like someone was pouring an entire ocean down the street in front of my house. When I opened the door, the water had already reached the yard. I had never seen it rise that fast." The water rose nearly 320 millimeters in just 12 hours, a meaningless number to anyone who hasn't seen it, but to the people of Shaanxi, it meant broken levees, collapsed homes, and missing loved ones. By morning, Wuqi was no longer Wuqi. The ground lay hidden beneath a thick layer of muddy brown water. Peaceful streets had turned into raging currents. Cars swept away by the flood now sat stranded on rooftops, like toys abandoned by a tantrum named nature. An earthen levee along the Beiluo River gave way. Not a natural collapse. Some said it was due to the overwhelming pressure of the water, but many local residents believed part of the dam had been deliberately released, without any warning. We didn't get any warning at all. No sirens, no messages. By the time we realized it, the water was already in the kitchen. I only had time to carry my daughter up to the attic, said Ms. Liu, a primary school teacher, through tears. Across Hebei, from the city of Baoding to the counties of Yixian, Laishui, and Zhuzhou, the nightmare repeated itself. Rivers overflowed, sewer systems collapsed, lush green lands disappeared beneath a sea of water, as if someone had smeared mud across the map. In Taitan village, a haunting scene was captured. Residents sat on rooftops waiting for rescue, holding white cloths in their hands as desperate signals for help. A middle-aged man named Meng sobbed uncontrollably as he spoke to the rescue team on the phone. "My mother is bedridden. I can't get her to the roof. The water's rising. Please come. Please." The signal cut in and out, and then silence. In Anyang, a town in the city of Baoding, a crucial bridge connecting Yazikun village to the outside world collapsed at dawn. It was the only road rescue vehicles could use to get in. The people of Yazikon, over 700 households, were trapped. Old Wang, 76 years old, had designed that very bridge 20 years ago. He stood and watched as the rushing water carried away the shattered remains of what was once his pride. Swept away the broken pieces of what he once saw as a symbol of pride. I built it so people could reach one another. Now, no one can reach anyone, he said quietly. Just like that bridge, the people's trust in the coordination system, in transparency, began to crack. Rumors spread faster than the floodwaters. They released the dam without warning. The elderly were left behind because there weren't enough boats. The poor areas weren't the first to receive aid. No one knew what was true and what wasn't. But when lives are on the line, people start asking questions. Questions they should have had answers to long before. The flood didn't just wash away land. It took with it crops, livelihoods, safety, and the memories of thousands. In many areas, weak foundations caused homes to collapse, leaving only bare walls standing in the middle of a vast sea of water. Young barley fields were buried in thick mud, weighed down so heavily that recovery became impossible. In Thuan Binh district, a family of 5 living in a mountainside home had been out of contact since the flood hit. When the rescue team finally reached the area, all they found was a wooden chair floating aimlessly and a child's doll stuck on the roof of a neighboring house. Power was cut, cell phone signals were barely working. Emergency medical stations were overwhelmed. Relief supplies couldn't reach deeper areas because the terrain was completely cut off. Somewhere in the darkness, a young rescue soldier whispered, "We could have saved more, if only we had known 2 hours earlier." As of July 28th, at least 15 rivers had risen above warning levels. The floodwaters hadn't receded, the rain hadn't stopped, and the people, they were still waiting for something they weren't even sure would arrive in time. Real help and the truth. There's something more frightening than the flood itself, the silence. No one has stepped up to clearly explain the dam discharge process. No one has confirmed or denied the rumors spreading among residents. And no one can say for sure that this won't happen again. A flood may be a natural disaster, but the lack of transparency, lack of warning, and lack of coordination, that's man-made. We can blame the sky, but the sky doesn't choose where the rain falls. It's people who build homes by the river, construct bridges on weak ground, settle villages near dams, then forget to warn others when danger approaches. And when the waters sweep through, they don't just take roofs and walls, they take away trust and the sense of safety.